The Detroit Lions have not done a whole lot during free agency, and you need to stop freaking out about it. Let's talk about it. Hi, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit. And today we're going to talk about why you got to just calm down on the Lions free agency stuff. It's been a very slow process for the Lions. They've watched, Lions fans have watched the Bears and the Vikings seemingly load up with a lot of kind of older players. And the Bears did a really good job redoing their offensive line and got a couple of players. The Vikings got Jonathan Allen and really, that's going to help them a lot. And the Lions have done a few things. For starters, they lost Carlton Davis to the New England Patriots to a huge $60 million deal. I don't think anybody, we knew that Carlton was going to get paid, but it was probably more in that 50 range. He got $20 million a year-ish. When you break it down, it's more like 17.5 to 18, but it's still quite a lot more than the Lions probably wanted to pay. And then they turned around and got a corner of equal or maybe even greater value in DJ Reed for significantly less, for $48 million. That was a huge signing. That's a big deal. And then to add on to that, they go out and they get a good nose tackle in Roy Lopez, somebody who could potentially be a starter for this team going forward at some point when the Lions move on from DJ Reader, whether that's this year, if he's like a cap casualty, which I don't really think that's going to happen, or next year when he's no longer under contract with the Lions. And then Grant Stewart is a really good linebacker, special teams guy, is your replacement for Jalen Reeves-Maybin, something they really need. The Lions care about special teams an awful lot. He's also somebody who could come in and help out on defense as well. Like, that's a great pickup for this team. And they've done all this while maintaining some of their players, like getting Levi Onwuzurike back. That was huge, at a huge discount. I mean, I know that people look at the way that the Lions season ended against Washington Commanders and they think, well, geez, this defense is really bad. And it's interesting because at that same time, a lot of people were saying, well, they're this bad because of the injuries. But then all of a sudden, that excuse went away, and it became, well, the Lions' defense was always bad. I mean, you personally, sitting here watching me, you might not feel that way. But I could tell you on Twitter, I could tell you on Facebook, I could tell you on Blue Sky, on Threads, whatever social media you want to talk about, there is a large amount of people who feel as though the Lions' defense was really bad, and that's just not the case. Going into Week 11, even without Aiden Hutchinson, this was a top 5 defense in DVOA. This was one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. Then in succession, they lost Alex Anzalone. They lost Aleem McNeil. They lost Carlton Davis. They lost a whole bunch of backup players. They had to, you remember the day after Thanksgiving when they had to go and poach a bunch of guys off of practice squads just to make things work. And even through all of that, the Lions were still the team that allowed the second fewest passing touchdowns in the NFL. This is a good defense, and it will continue to be a good defense once everybody's healthy and everybody's on the field. Mike Clay from ESPN, a really good analytics guy, brought up this week. He put together his grades and for each position on each team and how that cumulatively worked and how each team would rank both offensively and defensively. The Lions came in at 5th on defense, and that was after the moves that had been made on the first 2 days. I mean, think about that. That's with the moves that have been made by the Bears, the Vikings, everybody, and the Lions are still a top 5 defense. Ranked higher than the Bears and the Vikings. And the Packers, obviously. So the analytic world, the sports world, does not see the Lions defense like it turns out a lot of Lions fans do. This is going to be a very good group. Could they use somebody else on the edge? Yeah, I think, that would be great to have somebody. Does it need to be a superstar? Does it need to be a $30 million a year guy? No, as cool as that would be to have Trey Hendrickson or something like that here, I think the Lions would be just fine with somebody like Azeez Ojulari on 2-year, $10 million deal, guy that gets 7 to 10 sacks a year. Like, that's great. That's all this team needs. Plus, you draft a rookie. You get a good edge rusher like a Shamar Stewart or Nick Scouton or, any one of these guys, James Pierce, that are in the draft, and you're good to go. And that allows you to go ahead and pay some of these guys who are going to be getting contracts here pretty soon. Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell. All these guys, the bill is coming due on them very soon. Jameson Williams, totally forgot to put him in there. So while you may be upset that the Lions are not going out there and spending money on names that they're still getting it done. This is still a very good team. Do not freak out. We'll see you next time.